Station, this is Houston ACR. That concludes the KFMB TV portion of the event. Please stand by for a voice check from Spaceflight Now.
Station, this is Stephen Clark with Spaceflight Now. How do you hear me?
Hello, Stephen. We have you loud and clear. Welcome aboard the International Space Station.
Hi. Thank you for taking the time to chat with me. And you're 3 weeks into your mission, and Shane, I wanted to ask you, you've joined a small but growing group of astronauts who have launched into space on 3 different kinds of vehicles. I'm curious in how Falcon 9 compared to the shuttle and Soyuz. What was that experience like?
Well, I've had a few people ask me that. That's a great question. I think it's kind of somewhere in between the two. Shuttle to me was, you're shaking around, rocking and rolling a lot more. Soyuz was super smooth, and the Dragon was kind of somewhere in between. So it was altogether a smooth ride uphill, but there were a few kind of rumblings and bumps along the way, some great G-forces we got to feel. So I kind of put it in between those 2 rides of the Soyuz and the shuttle.
I'm particularly interested in how was the ride on the MVAC engine. It's a big engine close to the capsule firing you into orbit.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. So after the first stage engines shut off, we had a few seconds of weightlessness, and then the MVAC kicked in, and it was a really nice kick in the pants, so to speak. We got to kind of suck back in our seats, and we got to feel that great acceleration for the next 6 minutes or so.
And what is life like on the Crew Dragon compared to Shuttle and Soyuz? You know, how roomy is it? How long would you feel comfortable living inside Dragon, on its own, not coming to ISS?
That's a tough one there. I mean, we've had the luxury of taking a day or so to get here, just about a day for us. I think they're going to work on getting that down a little bit to less than a day. But certainly Inspiration 4 is going to be living in it for 2 to 5 days, I think, is the current plan. And I would not want to be living in there more than a few days, personally, with a bunch of people in there. Now, I'm getting the privilege of living in there right now while it's attached to the space station because we don't have enough sleep stations. But I think orbiting around and with 4 people or so in there, 2 to 3 days would probably be about the limit for me personally.
And Megan, you're 3 weeks into your mission. You've now surpassed the length of your first shuttle flight back in '09. How are you settling in, and what are your first impressions of the ISS?
It is definitely a different mindset to do a long-duration mission than to do the short-duration shuttle mission. For shuttle, we were very task-focused. We trained, for all of the specific tasks that we knew we were going to do. We trained them over and over again. And for station, you're more kind of a skills-based training so that you prepare to handle all the different things that you might see up here. So it definitely is, it's a different mindset knowing that I'm going to be here for a long time. I feel like I'm adjusted. I feel like my body has adapted. I'm getting better and better at moving around. Of course, the volume is so much bigger than Space Shuttle, and so it's a lot more room to maneuver and practice your flying tricks. But it is daily life, so you have to figure out how to manage your energy, get all the work done, and be ready to get all the work done again tomorrow and for the next 180 days. So we're here for the long haul, but we're having fun. This is a really fun crew, and it's been great getting used to it so far.
And for Megan as well, Russia confirmed yesterday that they will launch a film crew to the ISS in October, an actress and a director. That's going to be toward the end of your mission. By our count, there are 12 civilian or non-government astronauts set to launch into orbit before the end of January of next year. And that's the same number of professional government astronauts launching in the same period if you count U.S., Russia, ESA, and China. I'm interested in, what are your thoughts on that? Are we at a turning point in human space flight? And how risky of an endeavor is human space flight today? Is it time for this change?
Well, I know that in our country, we've been talking for about 10 years about how to boost, a commercial space economy. And it looks like there's enough interest and enough excitement right now that some of that is really starting to happen. And so I think overall that's very exciting. I think the more people that are interested in traveling to space and achieving things in space, the more different ways we're going to have to get here, the more efficient things are going to get, maybe the more comfortable things are going to get. So I think it's a very interesting time, and and I'm just looking forward to seeing how it all plays out.
For either one of you, do you think the risk calculation adds up to being able to accommodate civilians on the ISS? Is the ISS ready to accommodate those visitors?
I'm sure the people that are, getting those flights ready are thinking about that. We're, personally, I think they're going to be fine. There's a lot of safety things, a lot of training that all those crews will have to go through to be able to respond to emergencies on the vehicle as well as on the space station. So that's the bottom line. Once they can do that, then all the other things, either somebody up here can help teach them, or they can just watch for a little bit until you figure it out. Just like any new crew member, honestly. So I think they're going to be just fine once they go through all the training.
And Shane, this is your third visit to the station. Curious in your impressions of how it's changed since your previous missions in 2008 and in 2016. Is there a lot more hardware up there? Is it a different pace of activity? Just your impressions.
Yeah, since my first flight on the shuttle, I think there's been a few more modules added. Since my flight a few years ago, not much has changed with the modules, but a lot more stuff is up here. There's a lot of new payloads. There's a new glove box in the Japanese module, things like that. There's a lot more stowage, meaning there's sometimes that's trash, sometimes that's equipment that's kind of everywhere. So we're trying to manage that as we get ready to send a cargo vehicle home here in the next month or so, and then another one's going to arrive here in a couple of weeks. So it's going to get really busy, and things are just going to get worse for a little bit until we can get a few things out of here.
And Megan, that leads me into my next question. There's a lot of hardware coming up to ISS in the next few months, and of course, things can change. Delays are part of the space business, but you've got a new cargo ship with solar arrays, a new Russian module, Starliner's first docking all later this summer. And at least at recent memory, I can't remember an increment with such a variety of new things. What about that excites you the most? Do you feel lucky to be there during this period of time? And what are you doing to prepare the space station to get that new delivery?
Well, honestly, Stephen, it is the variety of things that I find the most exciting. There's not one specific thing out of all of those that's the most exciting, but a new vehicle coming up, a cargo vehicle that's going to it's going to bring hardware for folks to go out and do an EVA that's going to involve also robotics. That's very exciting. A new module on the Russian side. All of that it's a lot of stuff, like you said, and figuring out how to manage all of that is a challenge. I think that will be just be really interesting for all of us. So the things that we can do to prepare, obviously, for a cargo vehicle in particular, is try to sort of batten down the hatches as much as we can before it gets here, make room in places, get more efficient with the stowage that we already have up here so we have room to move things off. And it's a challenge. I mean, there's a lot of stuff up here, and that will definitely be a challenge. But I think we're motivated. We've always known that this month coming up is going to be a super busy month, and we're excited for it. So we've had kind of a nice ramp up to that time period, and we're going to be ready for it.
I think I've got just a little over a minute left. I just wanted to ask, you've got 7 people up there, 5 USOS crew members. Mike Hopkins had to sleep in his Dragon spacecraft throughout his increment. Have you got a new sleep station set up yet? Is someone still bunking in the Dragon? How's that all working out?
Yeah, I'm the lucky one that's in the Dragon, and we're working on the new sleep station that's going to be in the European module, and that's hopefully in a couple of weeks we'll have that ready to go. But I'm not too anxious to move out. The window views are pretty great.
Well, thank you to both of you for your time, and good luck with the rest of your expedition, and safe trip home.
Thanks, Stephen, for joining us. Bye-bye.
Station.